Hi, everybody out there. Thank you for joining in today's live stream show. I'm Judy, the YouTube lawyer, and today we are going to have a dramatic reading of the police and FBI interview of June Umchinda, who is one of Charlie Adelson's many ex-girlfriends, and she played a pivotal role as a witness at the trials involving the murder of Dan Markel. And today I have Tony as well as Remy joining in. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so since we already have 3 people on the screen, we figured we are not going to actually flash up the transcript because that would take up a lot of room on the screen and just look kind of weird. So this was done on July 24th, 2018. And Tony is going to read the lines of Sherry Bennett, the investigator, and Remy will be the FBI agent Patrick Sanford, and I will read the lines of June. Okay, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead. So Tony, you start.
Yep. Today is July 24th, 2018. It is 6:30 p.m. We're here with June. All right. Okay, so we can just go ahead and talk. I just want to put the date down. We don't, like he said, we don't release anything. I work for the Tallahassee Police Department. I've never released anything. Anything we do, no one's going to know. We're here talking to you, okay? You weren't with him at the time everything went down. It's the after, and that's what we're kind of here for.
And you were asking about inaudible.
Yeah.
Inaudible.
No, I believe you. It's just
inaudible.
I didn't think anyone would call me since they didn't call when I was with him. I didn't get a call from anyone, so I was surprised you reached out now.
Reached out, right?
Because we've been broken up for like a year now.
A year? Okay.
Yeah, last June.
What happened?
You don't know?
Uh-uh.
You guys don't listen in on his conversations or anything?
No.
No, not all the time.
Inaudible. We just don't listen to his calls.
Yeah, everybody was like,
oh, well, we were on a break for 2 months and he got another girl pregnant.
Okay.
We got back together for the 3 months and found out that she was pregnant. So he had a baby. So now she's with him and stuff.
Okay.
So they're living together and stuff now, you think?
Yeah, they are. But it's not like they're married or anything.
Just raising the kid together kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I did talk to him like a couple of weeks ago for the first time, but I don't know how long it's going to last between them. I don't really think I should be back with him.
No.
But I've been single since, so...
Yeah, it's hard to get over, but I can tell you, you're definitely better off, probably.
Yeah.
Just thinking of how he is.
A lot of people are telling me that.
We've talked to many of his girlfriends, his ex-girlfriends, and I don't think he's ever been faithful to any of them, so...
Oh, so you've met with the other ones?
We've talked to a lot of people.
A lot of them.
Oh, wow.
We're talking to a lot of people.
Inaudible. Just like we wouldn't tell somebody, we talk to you, we can't tell you. Inaudible.
Did they tell him that they spoke to you, or?
I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah.
We didn't tell them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they told him or not, but...
I didn't tell him. But I was going to mention, but I don't see why I would bring it up to him.
Why should you?
Yeah, it's...
I mean, that's just because he's not going to find out from us, so...
Yeah, he's not going to know.
It's going to cause you problems Probably if you talked to him about it. You said you talked to him about it. You said you talked to him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, on my birthday. It was June 28th, so we spoke that night and the next morning.
He called you on your birthday to tell you happy birthday kind of thing, or?
Yeah, and just how complaining to me about how bad everything is going.
Like what? What's going bad?
The girl that he's with
Oh, really?
and his whole life and everything.
That's not the way he wanted it?
All of a sudden, he shouldn't have left you kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, he says that he's miserable and they break up. They've been fighting and she yells at him. And he told her that he's happier with me and stuff. But I mean, I can't. He has a kid with her, so
He could just be telling you that. You never know.
yeah, he's full of lies. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Inaudible.
No, we
Inaudible.
You've probably talked to other girls and found out.
Yeah.
like we said, we've talked to a lot of people.
A lot of people we've talked to. Yeah. When did you first start dating him?
It was October of 2015, I want to say.
Okay. How did you all meet?
We met through his ex-roommate, a friend. His name is Jerry, the dermatologist. I don't know if you went to speak to him or not.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I knew him and I was talking to him for a little, and I met Charlie one night. Charlie had a girlfriend at the time, so we all four hung out, and Charlie and I hit it off more than the other two. So a year went by and I didn't hear from, like, I was not interested in him. He didn't have my number. So my roommate that you met, like, looked up a periodontist to see for her. She wanted to get a consultation for something, and it happened to be Charlie, and she didn't know him. So he found out she knew me, was my best friend. And then later he called her, had the office call her and stuff for my number, saying he would do her procedure for free and stuff if he got my number.
Really?
He really pursued you.
Did he do that? Did he? Inaudible.
She didn't end up getting it, but he said he would have. But so, yeah, he found me that way. And then ever since then, we've been like inseparable until,
Last year?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone tells me he's such a horrible person and I'm better off. And I know that, but I miss him still. And my life has been a little rocky since we've broken up.
Inaudible.
And also, he has like a family and stuff, and I'm single.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like upsetting to me, but I still don't know what's going on with this case thing. Like, since it came up, our relationship just changed.
Like from the beginning, as soon as it came out in the media?
Yeah, because when we were first together, I had no idea about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like a fairy tale, perfect. And then when that came up, it was like he changed, our relationship, everything changed. It wasn't just about us anymore. It was like just a case, a case, a case.
You're constantly worried about the case.
Right.
Yeah. Like we couldn't do anything anymore or go anywhere.
Anywhere. What was he like saying when it first came up? Did you see it or did he tell you about it?
About what?
About the case, when you first heard about the case.
That the story that they published was the first time I ever heard about it. They thought I was Catherine. So that guy who was a reporter made me read something and told me about it. And then Charlie pulled up home and they snapped the photo of us.
Where was that? At Charlie's house?
Yeah, in front of his house.
So when a reporter came to Charlie's house and like knocked on the door type thing, or just saw you on the driveway?
Well, it was funny because I was working. I had a meeting and I got off early, which never happens. So I went there to grab something of mine at his house afterwards because I had the key.
Uh-huh.
And they were sitting out front waiting. So right when I got out of my car, they approached me. And also, Charlie never got off that early, and he pulled up a little after me. So it was ironic that we were both there
Right.
because we're never there at that time.
Wow. So the reporters thought you were Katie?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. What did they say to you?
I didn't know who Katie was. And then he explained everything really quick. But then Charlie came, pulled me in, and then he kind of explained, and that's how I found out. And then they twisted everything and put it in the media, that horrible photo of me and everything.
The one with you and him at the front door? Is that?
In front of the car?
Yeah, like it was the worst thing ever.
So what did Charlie say? What was his explanation? Like, how did he explain it to you?
I don't really know like how he kind of like pushed away from it. He wouldn't talk to me about it for the longest time. Like he was being sneaky and go places and freak out and wouldn't tell me like where until later on when it got big. Like for a week when I said he's been so stressed.
Uh-huh.
My article was when he was acting just very different and like wouldn't tell me what was wrong.
And that was before you knew?
Yeah, because those 2 weeks he was acting weird, but I thought it was maybe like work issues, family,
Right.
something like him getting sued that he couldn't tell me or anything.
Okay.
So,
So when that reporter was talking to you and he brought you inside, he didn't kind of, you saw that the reporter gave you. Did they kind of shock you and you asked him any questions when he went inside? How did you?
yeah, I knew about Dan passing because Charlie mentioned that on that he got murdered, but he never
He never told you?
said anything else. He just said he was shot in the garage and they don't know who did it. So when I found out it was that case, then I put two and two together and said, oh, they're accusing him of doing this exact case. I didn't know.
Right. Have you read anything else on it after that?
After that time,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was following it for a while because we were still together.
Right.
And sometimes I'll check to see what's going on, but I know it's been like dragging out for what now? Like,
It's been 4 years.
Since the murder.
well, two after
2 after that.
Inaudible.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little long. So what was with his explanation about like he was getting accused of it, and what did he say about being accused of it?
He just used to tell me if any cops come to the door, don't answer. You don't know anything because I really don't. And he would just say, I didn't do it. And they don't have any proof or evidence. And it's just a theory. And I know someone that everyone knows each other. He would just say things like that he would say that he didn't do it. And he doesn't know that his life is so miserable and everyone is out to get him and stuff.
All right.
Did he ever tell you? Did he tell you about Katie?
He told me he dated her. I can't remember if it was before I knew about her from the case. I think he might have mentioned he dated a Filipino girl, but I don't know too much about her.
Well, after she got arrested, what did he say?
He was just shocked and surprised that she got taken and stuff. He didn't know what was going to happen next.
Was she still acting more paranoid and stuff at that point?
Yeah. I mean, for a while, he was like very scary to be around, just like angry and different. That's what I meant also when I said our relationship changed, because he says I was bringing more stress onto him because I don't understand the case and stuff like that. Just like very irritable, ticked off at everything. But I mean, I guess you can blame him. You can't blame him because his whole life is kind of falling apart and stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm sure it was. Did he, when he talked about Katie, when Katie got arrested, probably read or saw the shows? I don't know if you saw the shows, the TV shows, did on
Yeah,
it?
I did.
Dateline and 2020, how they linked Katie
Uh-huh. I know.
to the murders and him. What was his explanation about that? What did he tell you about that?
He wouldn't give me a full on. He used to say, I don't know, would just keep quiet and say, I had nothing to do with it. I'm not involved. And
Did you think that was strange? That he couldn't even come up with an explanation of why?
well, I mean, I think I was in denial for a little. At the end of the day, when I went home, it made sense that people would accuse him. And when you really think about it, like people like my sister and my family and everyone are like, obviously he did it.
When you look at some of the evidence that's out there,
No, I know.
it's hard to.
I don't know if Charlie is just good at like persuading people or what. His lies, he makes it believable sometimes. So I really don't know. Like, I'm curious also to see if he's involved because he never, according to him, he has nothing to do with it.
What do you think?
I I don't know. It like comes and goes,
I can see how,
like my feelings.
like, obviously you're still in love with him, so obviously you don't want to believe that that the guy that you're dating could do something like that. But if you look at some of the stuff, like, I mean, you've seen it, you've said your family has seen it, and to them it's obvious.
Yeah. And even my dentist's office, they all hate him. They know him, and
Did he ever work there?
everyone tells me like I'm better off.
Yeah, it's hard once you've already got feelings invested. I understand that.
Yeah. And that he's living with another girl with a baby and a dog and stuff. And I'm by myself. So it's like very sad.
Yeah.
The only thing bad about him was he's supposedly a murderer. So,
Inaudible.
That's the only thing bad about him.
That's the only thing bad about him.
but other than that, he was like my dream guy.
Yeah.
It was like perfect until the whole thing blew up. And then that was like number one priority instead of us.
So before that, you never caught him with another girl?
Oh, yeah, I've caught him.
Okay.
I almost said silly girl. So that's
Inaudible.
Well, the girl he's pregnant with, I've caught him with her.
there's been a couple.
Inaudible. And you still describe him as a perfect inaudible.
I know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the murdering and the cheating.
Besides the murdering and the cheating, he was great.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, I know obviously he's not good for me. So,
Okay. It looks like you kind of got your stuff together. You've got a realty license now, it looks like.
yeah, I did it like we planned our life and he wanted me to get that. So my whole life has just been like, after leaving, I'm trying to like pick it back up without him. So
Uh-huh.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You don't need him.
How long were you together?
like almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
It wasn't too long, but I basically lived there and we were very close.
Well, no, 2 years isn't in an adult relation different than a younger one. An adult relationship, your lives are revolving around each other and planning with each other. So I understand that.
And I was basically living there. So every day we were together.
And then just sudden change.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere we went, and he couldn't ever sleep at night. And he was always just, everything was horrible.
Was he paranoid, like talking on his phone? Or was like paranoid about being followed by the police and stuff?
Yeah. Well, he didn't like that everything is tapped. Like he says he has no privacy. And that's what he would always talk about is that people are watching him, tapping him.
If he didn't do anything wrong, why would he be worried about people watching him?
I don't know. I think he's always just saying I'm a private person and I don't want everyone knowing what's going on in my life.
That's usually a comment made by most people that are doing something that they shouldn't be doing.
He used to put a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Me?
No.
He did.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
To be so private.
Yeah, he put a lot of stuff on Facebook.
He didn't put too much stuff.
Not since all this stuff happened, yeah.
He wasn't really like a social media person, but he did delete it once this all came.
Yeah, he deleted it.
Yep.
Are you two in charge of are the main sources in charge of the case?
Yes.
Yep.
You've been working on it since day one?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I came in a little later than day one. The initial investigator retired.
Are you with Kappelman and
She works for the state's attorney's office. She's our prosecutor. She's the attorney prosecuting the case. I work for the police department, who did the initial investigation along with the FBI, which is...
I've been on it since day one.
Have you seen his family and him? Are you interviewing them or they won't talk to you?
No. They don't want to say anything, of course.
Yeah.
They have attorneys.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to us, of course.
Do they know you're here right now?
No.
That's why we said, like, no one knows.
We come and go inaudible. No one knows we're even coming, calling you or talking to you or anything.
And the other girls, you're able to meet with them and stuff?
We've talked to different people at different times.
But not the girl he's with now?
No.
Because she's there.
Right.
Pretty much, like he said, we come down.
But he wasn't even involved. She came, they were only talking for like 6 weeks and she got pregnant.
Right. Do you know how he met her?
She's actually the nanny of Wendy's ex-boyfriend's kids. So he met her through Wendy because she's a nanny.
Right, okay.
So that's Wendy's ex-boyfriend. Do you remember his name?
I want to say David or...
Okay. She's not with him anymore, right?
I don't think so. It wasn't that serious. It was like he would come to holidays sometimes with us, but I don't think she was officially like invested in him.
Okay.
He's a Spanish guy, I think.
Okay.
I can't even remember his full name, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Charlie met her.
It was a while ago.
Who was Charlie dating when you first met him? You said he was dating somebody back in 2015. Do you remember who she was?
Yes, her name was Whitney, inaudible.
Okay.
But that was when I first met him, and then
And that's when you were dating Jerry, right?
Inaudible.
yeah, and then
Okay.
Did you actually date Jerry or were you just talking to him?
we were talking, but it turned out he had a girlfriend, so it didn't work. And that girl, the girlfriend, showed up at Charlie's that night. It's a long story.
Inaudible.
Oh.
So it was a big dilemma.
So that's how you and Charlie started hitting it off.
Well, not because of that. Before that whole night we were talking.
Okay.
And the other two, we just had a connection. And then, yeah, that's what made it so memorable, was the event.
Yeah, I can see that being awkward.
So then a year later, I didn't hear from him, like almost a year, until my roommate decided to get her teeth, so like some consultation.
Consultation?
She happened to meet Charlie.
Okay.
Funny.
Do you have more evidence now? Like, I mean, I guess I'm just curious as to where you think it's going.
There's a lot. Inaudible.
It's in, okay, October, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence out there.
Uh-huh.
Of course, you know, a lot of evidence. But as far as when you were with him, how many cell phones did he carry?
I remember he got a second one when all this was going on. And then I don't know what happened to that one. And he might have gotten another one. So that's from what I know. I don't really know.
Okay.
What kind of apps would he use to talk to people on?
He used WhatsApp, that I know of, to talk to me a lot. And I think primarily that's what he used.
Just WhatsApp? He didn't use anything else besides that?
That I know of, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything you can think of that stood out in your mind? Kind of anything that's really weird? Why did he say that, or why did he do that? Or anything that made you think, wow, maybe he really did do that? Like I said, we're not putting you out there like that, okay?
Yeah, and
This is really,
completely confidential. Anything you say to us.
yeah, we're not putting you out to the media. Nobody's going to know. Inaudible. We're just trying to,
I know. I just kind of feel bad because I don't know if he did it. And I don't want to ruin his life.
if he didn't do it,
If he didn't do it, then there's nothing you can do.
really,
You know, you're not ruining his life if he didn't do it.
if he didn't do it, right, there's nothing you can do to him that,
Yeah. I don't like, I can't specifically say, but I mean, he never asked me, like, or never told me, or never told me, like, was curious who did do it then. You know, if it wasn't him, he never said, oh, I wonder who killed Dan. Or like, it was just like him saying, just like fearing, like he used to have like clothes by his bed in case they came to get him and stuff, like in the middle of the night. and just he was very scared that they would come and take him.
Like an escape plan? Like he would throw his clothes on and try to run?
No, not run, but be like ready, like prepared
Like clothes to put on to go to jail in?
or something. I don't know. Like, I mean,
He would have like an outfit or like a bag to go.
yeah,
Which was it? Did he just have clothes in there,
with clothes.
or did he just have like a bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he ever talk about trying to go to another country or anything?
He did say, oh, well, if I did it, I would have left by now to another country, because he was like, I'm a free man and I can go. And I go travel all the time and they're watching where I go and they don't do anything. So he says, no, I didn't do it. So I'm staying here, because he was like,
Sure.
he didn't do it.
Does he have some bank accounts in other countries or anything? Do you know? Does he have money in other countries?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I've heard of.
Did you ever travel with him when he went overseas?
We went to Mexico for a wedding and like Vegas.
Did you ever go to the Philippines with him?
No, he goes there alone because there's other girls there that he goes and sees.
Yeah.
And you know that while you were dating him?
Yeah. Well, we had lots of fights about her. Her name is Alyssa, but she lives in the Philippines.
He would go see her while you were dating him. He went and saw her?
Yeah. And I think that's why we also didn't work out, because Bree, I don't know if she knows, he cheats on her too, but the one he's with now.
He's cheating on her now?
Yeah.
Did you go out with him recently?
No, I haven't seen him
Seen him in a long.
like over a year.
You just talked to him over the phone?
We just spoke on the phone for the first time in months.
Okay. You didn't see him though. You just talked.
No.
Who's he cheating on her with?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I know friends have told me. Like, none of his friends are even friends with him anymore.
Really? He lost all of his friends?
A lot of his friends. Recently, he told me, he's like, I have no friends anymore, and I just want to get out of the house. I can't stand her. He's like, I would call the custody attorney now, not the divorce, to send her a check and get her own apartment. But he said since the case is going on, he wouldn't be a fit parent. So he wants to see his son and stuff, because he's like, he has to stay with her until October. So he says this is all going to end and stuff.
Oh. He thinks it's going to be over in October?
Well, he's just always saying, once this is done, like, my life is so messed up right now. And
Is he thinking once it's done, he's going to get back with you and everything's going to be back to perfect?
that's not going to happen. But
that's kind of what he's trying to say to you.
I think he just talks a lot sometimes. And yeah, I guess he was trying to hint that, but I'm not dealing with the girl and the kid or anything. So
Yeah, and the many other girls that he'll be seeing.
The girls, yeah.
and the case, he has a lot of baggage right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say so. I would agree with that statement. Is there anywhere else besides the Philippines that he goes to regularly when you were dating him?
Also, Texas, he has some family there. He kind of travels periodically. Like, he went to Colorado a few times. Like,
How about Colombia?
yeah, he goes to Cartagena sometimes.
What does he do down there?
Who knows? He hangs out with people for fun.
He hangs out in Colombia for fun.
Yeah. He's kind of like a partier, if you don't know already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how he's doing now, but
When he was with you, that's kind of, from what you know of him, that's what he would do?
yeah.
Has he always had a lot of cash?
Yeah. He has a safe in his room, so he has.
Inaudible. Always put a lot of cash in his safe? Kept a lot in his safe, right?
He usually uses cash for everything, so
Okay.
Yeah. How much cash do you think he has in that safe at any time?
I never physically saw the whole thing, but there was always stacks of hundreds, like a lot of cash in there. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of dollars, you think?
Yeah.
Stacks of hundreds, yeah?
Yeah. Like it's like dollars to him. Like
Does he carry a gun on him too?
yeah,
Pistol?
he has a license, a gun license,
Inaudible. Yeah.
a gun license, whatever.
Inaudible.
Yeah.
A carry license.
Yeah. So he usually has one like in his car and then like somewhere else by his bed and stuff.
Okay.
One thing I thought was weird was I had one time he was giving money to count or something, and all of his money is like stapled together, the hundreds in bundles. And then I was like reading the article, and it said the package had the money all stapled together. So I was always like, who staples money and stuff? Like, use a paper clip or something.
Yeah.
So I was just always like, that's weird. But I never said it to him or anything.
Yeah.
Inaudible.
So I was going to say, so you've seen his money stapled together too?
Yeah, like it's the same how they described it.
Okay.
I mean, I really don't want to get in trouble or anything
Yeah.
because I really can only tell you what I know.
That's all you can do.
Right?
That's all we're asking you to do.
But I feel bad if he's like rotting in jail and stuff.
But if he killed somebody, do you think he would deserve to go to jail if he killed somebody? If he had somebody killed who had kids, that those kids never see their dad again? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's something to think about. Don't put that guilt on your shoulders
Yeah. It's not something.
because you're telling the truth about.
I think because I still have some feelings for him,
I know it's difficult.
a mixture of things.
I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, you know, it's not involving you. You don't need to feel guilty about telling the truth about what you see inaudible. So, where were you at when you saw that money? Is that in his safe?
Yeah, in his house.
He gave it to you for you to count it?
On the counter, like the living room.
Why was he getting you to count the money?
He always did bills and sometimes would have money out to I don't know, like he owns a lot of companies and friends he lends to them sometimes. So he would always just sort out his money, maybe to pay people. I don't know. Mhm.
Did he have a lot of rental properties too that he got money from?
Yeah. He has a ton of like a whole building of real estate and more. So he's primarily right now, I think investing like in real estate is his main career. That's why he wanted me to do it, I think. But he does that obviously more than working as a periodontist now. So,
He has more real estate than he has dentist work.
yeah, he does a lot of real estate stuff.
You think he does some of that with cash?
Yeah, definitely.
Inaudible.
Inaudible. Hold on.
Inaudible. As far as the real estate goes, did he do a lot of cash real estate stuff?
I
Inaudible. Dealt in cash?
I don't physically see it, but yeah, that's usually how he does everything, his transactions.
Does a lot of dentist work? Inaudible. Cash to do dentist work too?
I don't know for sure. I think some offices because he's a traveler. So,
A trunk dentist. Work out of his trunk a little bit?
yeah, he doesn't even work at his office. He's always somewhere else every day.
You think some of those people pay in cash too?
Yeah, he works for one of his good friends, Robert Stanton, who's a dentist, and they kind of like have an arrangement or something.
Stanton pays him cash?
Yeah, I'm sure a few people might.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
Anything you can think of, like you said, things that you might think are weird at the time that stood out that just made you question.
I mean, like, it's kind of been like a while, so I'm trying to think back. It's been over a year,
Right.
Since maybe a year and a half now,
Uh-huh.
since the case started.
Yeah.
So I just know he wouldn't really want to talk to me about it a lot. Like sometimes he was very quiet, like didn't want to say anything.
Did you hang out with his family, like the family as a whole, after all this broke in the media?
What?
Mom and dad?
I know you went with mom and dad. Did you hang out with dad or the family after? After things broke and everything was weird? How was the family dynamic at that point afterwards?
I mean, I think the dad held it together, but the mom was a mess a lot. Like when I saw her one night, she was up crying and her face was swollen. And Charlie said she has to be on like painkillers or medication because she's so stressed. And we had a talk outside, the mom and I, on the balcony. And she was just saying that this is all awful. And, crying and saying, she said she feels like Dan's back from the grave, like haunting them or something.
Really? Why would Dan haunt them?
Yeah, I don't know. That did
Yeah.
stand out to me. And she just said he was so awful to Wendy and telling me all the stories about what they went through and what he did to Wendy.
Like what? What did she say he did to Wendy?
Just about the kids, like talking bad about her, manipulating her and controlling her. Something about the house they had that he kind of flipped the money situation or tried to steal money from her or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Charlie told me that story.
This is after he's dead. This is after he's been killed, and they're talking about Dan and saying about how bad of a person he was.
Well, yeah. The mom was just saying that it was awful and that, yeah, like they weren't ever curious, like who really killed him. They weren't upset about it, it seemed like. So,
Yeah. They've got the grandkids living across the street down there, right?
Yeah.
The grandkids live across the street or go to school across the street and live down the street.
yeah. Well, back when I knew, I don't know where they live now, but yes, they were there
Right.
when I was with him.
A year or so ago. Icon, is that what it's called?
I think so.
A big condominium on South Beach.
Yeah, I think it's the icon.
That's what you're talking about out on the balcony. The big condo, the big high-rise condo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Wendy, I was with her, and I think she was just saying it was tough being, having the kids to raise and stuff. I don't know how it came up, but I said something like, since we knew Dan wasn't here anymore, or someone mentioned it, or I can't remember it exactly. But then she said, oh, but still, it's still hard and stuff. Like, even though he's gone, I guess. I don't, I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I was trying not to like focus on it because I hate to be involved in it.
Right.
But it was kind of like saying, like, I don't know if Wendy even knew if Charlie did it. Like, I still don't know if Wendy was involved.
Well, what did she say? I mean, what did he say about her family being involved in it? What did she think?
I never got to really talk to her about that because I didn't see her as much. She was, when I did, she was with the kids a lot. So we didn't have a lot of one on one together.
What was her attitude toward her family like? Was she acting angry at them, like they might have done something, or was she like okay with them, or
Her and Charlie, she would get mad at Charlie a lot. But like Charlie would say, about the media and everything, the TV and all that stuff. So they would fight, but I never knew the exact reason. But he would say it had to do with the case. Like it was like,
that's why they were fighting?
yeah, something like she wouldn't talk to him for a little and stuff.
She wouldn't talk to him for a long time?
Not a long time. Like just, I think for a little bit. I don't know all the details. But one time he told me that Wendy was mad at him and wouldn't talk to him, and because she thought she was the only one going through it. And Charlie was like, well, I'm going through this too and stuff.
How long have you been in this building?
Like 3 years or something.
Okay.
I was here when I was with Charlie. I lived here. We didn't really like officially live together.
So you just kept your place?
Yeah, I had a place,
That's good.
but every night I was there.
Sure. But at least you weren't like,
Yeah, I didn't fully invest with him.
Yeah.
gotta find somewhere to live. That's good.
He wanted me to have a kid too, and I didn't want to without getting engaged or married or something, and I knew that he was a bad person.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I wanted to wait until the case was done also.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It also lasted longer than what we thought it was going to be.
And he just thinks it's going to go away, inaudible?
Pretty much. I mean, I asked him to take my information off of the internet. He just said he's trying, and he's told it has to wait and stuff, like our pictures of the case.
That's strange.
So I don't know if you guys could take my stuff down or not, but
Unfortunately, they don't like us messing with the internet.
Unfortunately.
For some reason, it's kind of a free world out there, the internet. It's we don't have control over it, unfortunately. I wish they would inaudible, but you know what? It's only that one. I think he's only got one or two pictures, whatever it was.
That has you in it, yeah.
yeah, the worst one.
Inaudible.
I saw it. It was fine. How are you doing, inaudible?
So are you just trying to gather, like, to see what kind of person he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, just inaudible. We don't want to go to you while you're with him, you know what I mean? That would put you in a real bad position.
Well, he wouldn't even let me answer the, like, reporters were leaving messages on my phone trying to see me.
Then he wouldn't let you call them back or anything?
No, he just said, don't talk to anyone.
Yeah. How do you think that would have gone if we went and knocked on your door over there and you were living with him? I mean, that wouldn't have gone well, would it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's,
So that's why we came to you now, that you're not with him.
Right.
you can try to see the baby mama, but I don't know.
That probably won't go very well, will it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably won't go well. That's why we didn't want to put you in that bad position either, with you being there with him and us talking to you, because we know he would be all over you about it and be angry if you did talk to us, wouldn't he?
Well, yeah. That's why I was surprised when you called me like now, because I was like, wow, it's been a while, you know? Like I expected a call when I was with him because everyone was calling me that time.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think you would be a little more apt to talk to us now than you would have while you were with him, is why. You know what I mean? Because you don't feel the pressure of him looking over your shoulder and trying to make sure that you're not talking to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And I do feel bad. Like, I want to help you guys. And
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
because we're not here trying to mess you up. We're not trying to,
I know
like I said, we're not trying to cause you problems.
I'm kind of like on both sides. I feel like because, like, I still love him, but I know if he's a bad person.
If he did something wrong, we need to prove it.
Right.
If he didn't do something wrong, we need to prove that he didn't do something wrong. You're telling us what you know can help us get that resolved. That's the way you need to look at it. You know, you telling us the truth of everything might be able to help him. If he didn't do it, something you tell us might help us
Uh huh.
prove he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And it can be over for him. Does that make sense? So just be honest with us and tell us whatever you know.
Uh huh.
Any little thing you heard him talk about on the phone to people, anything like that can be helpful to us. Who was his friends that he would talk to regularly at that time?
He had a few friends that he doesn't have anymore. When I was with him, he had a group of friends that I guess he's not friends with anymore.
Because of the case?
No, he told me it was a few disagreements and falling outs that he had with those friends recently. They stopped being friends.
Who was that?
It was Darren Pike, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Quentin, Antonio, like a few friends of his.
And
Quentin Antonio. Is that his name?
Antonio, no, Antonio is one of
Quentin, the one person.
them.
Quentin.
Quentin Stevenson,
He's not friends with him anymore?
he lost like a lot of friends recently.
Wasn't he the guy that went on TV, went on the news acting as his attorney?
No, that's Weinstein, I think.
Oh, that's who that was.
He's actually an attorney.
He is, right? With but the but acting like his attorney, like he was representing.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. At that time, he was helping him with advice,
Okay.
but they weren't officially signed or anything.
Okay.
He would talk to him a lot during that time.
Okay.
Okay.
So Quentin Stevenson and Ryan, all those guys, he's not friends with them anymore?
No, and they've been friends since childhood, a lot of them. So they're very close to Charlie.
Did they say, or did he say why they had a falling out? What was the falling out? That's a lot of friends to lose over a falling out.
Different things. Like Ryan and him had a business together and he didn't pay or something, and they argued. Like, I don't know the main details.
And Charlie didn't pay Ryan?
I know it was about money or something. And then Quentin, I don't really know exactly. It all had to do with Charlie. And Antonio actually made a comment about the case. That's why they fought, because he was like saying, oh, at least I don't pay people to do my dirty work or something like that.
Kind of threw it in his face.
Wow.
And then they started fighting at the dinner table, I heard.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So that's what started it. And then they always had their personalities always meshed, those two. I think she meant clashed. So it was coming, I think. And Antonio,
What's his last name? Antonio.
I can't even think of it like off the top of my head, but he's an attorney. He's a lawyer.
Is he in Fort Lauderdale?
I think, yeah, he used to live in Miami. I think they moved to Davie or something, or Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. What was the business?
Darren was his best friend. He's a periodontist also.
What was their falling out for?
He was there that night, and I guess he sided with Antonio.
Oh.
And all the wives, like, there's a whole group of them.
Okay.
So none of them, and that's why Charlie was saying when he called me, he was in Texas. And he said he's going to the Keys the next weekend to get away from everyone. He has no friends.
Yeah. When was this falling out? How long ago was it?
Okay, can we stop here since it's almost an hour?
Yes.
Okay,
Just remember where we were.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining in. I'm sorry I'm kind of on a time crunch here. So do you guys have time to continue next Saturday or sometime
course.
next
Yeah.
weekend?
For sure.
Same time?
Okay, great. So we'll be in touch. And yeah, thank you guys, everybody. I appreciate
Thank you.
guys being out there. Sorry we don't have time to address all the questions and comments, but hopefully you guys had fun talking to each other in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so we'll be in touch then. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. There's a live stream tomorrow, but it's going to be about divorce lawyers and what we wish clients would know. So if anyone's interested in that, please join in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Bye for now.